Man caught pleasuring himself in Walmart. Before I dive into this video, Walmart would be the place. Like, if at all cost, if someone was like, I'll give you $1 billion to go goon anywhere in public, or goon and get arrested, it would be Walmart. I can't think of another place. Maybe like a Harbor Freight, where you're using your tool while browsing the tool aisle. $1 billion, $1 billion. Would I do it for $1 million? I feel like it's just easier to become a net worth millionaire. Like if you own a house, you're most likely a millionaire. So, I probably wouldn't. If it got up in the tens of million, then we got a conversation. But man caught pleasuring himself in Walmart. Let's get into this banger. Yeah.
Takedown in aisle 67. Literally, a shopper is tackled in a Walmart pasta aisle after allegedly doing more than just exposing himself in the retail giant.
If some people in town would have seen that, they would have handled it differently.
Yeah, I just get out.
Are you drunk?
Wait, can you go back on that?
Just a little? That's the part I see. I had to flip the.
What do you think his name is? And this is just a statistic take. Like, I'm gonna say that a white guy, he's more likely to be like a Tom or a Jack or John, you know? So, just by a gander, I would say my guess is probably Francisco. I think is a solid name. There was a guy who went to my school named Francisco, and he had that same exact Nike hoodie going on. So I don't know if we're gonna find out or not, but that's my take.
Camera in the kitchen.
Law and Crime obtained the shocking surveillance.
Also, how many times, sorry I'm yapping, and we'll get into the video, but how many times do you think that the cops are called to a Walmart per day? I'm going to look it up real quick. How many times are cops called to a Walmart daily? I'm going to say on average. So, excuse me. Because I'm thinking that there's a lot of Walmarts. So probably 300. So it says a rough estimate is about 1 to 3 police calls per Walmart store per day. 1 to 3. So an average of that is 2. They're getting 2 calls a day. Like I haven't worked at Walmart or like a major retail store before. Like at that level. But that's basically saying that whoever's working the morning shift, you're going to be calling the cops. And then whoever's working the night shift, you're probably going to be calling the cops. More often, probably night shift. But Like, that's what I'm trying to say. I feel like Walmart tried, you know, those security guards? The only thing that they're guarding is their lunch. Like, not one time have they gone out of their way. Like, when they first started doing it, I thought it was like a wholesale foods type of action going on where, you know, you'd give them the receipt, they'd mark out how many items you had and stuff. But they ain't doing nothing. They're getting like what, 13 an hour? And that's just the same thing if you're scared about bringing in snacks outside, like from Dollar Tree or something, into the movie theater. Like, that 14-year-old's going to tackle you for that. So it makes sense. Because at the end of the day, what's probably happening is there is I guess the security guards at Walmart, and they're probably the ones who are calling the cops. But that's crazy. That's crazy. So how many Walmarts are there? Okay, I'm going to look this up and we'll get into it. Oh. So there's about 4,600. So, and that's worldwide in the U.S. Man, that's crazy. They got to be getting... Walmart should have a tax for the police, because they're probably using up the majority of the police officers' time. And I saw this at Walmart. They have designated parking spots for the police because they're there so often. And what is it with it being Walmart? Like, I know that there's shoplifting in a lot of different areas, but, like, Target is about not as big, but they have around the same amount of locations as, you know, Walmart. But I just think that the atmosphere in Target almost feels like you have to dress up. Like there's a tier. If I'm walking into Walmart, we all know this feeling. You're basically, you match a lot of times in whatever, like say for instance, when I played tennis in high school, if I had somebody who was of lesser skill as I, or higher skill as I, but we'll start with lesser, then I would match myself to that. So I feel like it's the same way with Walmart. You have a guy in his 50s, got some Crocs on, long neon shorts. He's got a Hello Kitty shirt on with a chest hair tuft going on. You know what I'm saying? That's your average, at least in the South, Walmart dress code. And heck, I saw, you know, I love styles. I love being creative. So I'm just pointing on just what I see at Walmart. But the other day, there was I don't even think that he had a shirt on. Yeah, he just, I don't know what kind of Minecraft fit he had on, bruh. But, I bet his wife got mad at him and freaking cut holes where his nips were. And so, yeah, I think that, maybe that's why people feel like they can steal is because it almost feels like Walmart, you can just get away with anything and no one will say anything. Hence, freaking gooning in the mayo aisle. Or at least he got tackled in the mayo aisle.
Video, and we'll walk you through what happened when this 25-year-old thought no one was looking. This is Inside the Crime, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Miller. Now, after combing through this body cam, I'm reminded this is why I like shopping online. Because not only is this man accused of publicly exposing himself, but he's accused of masturbating while following women around in the store. Walmart shoppers got a lot more than they were expecting this day when a man is arrested for allegedly pleasuring himself in the men's department.
I just can't imagine that we live in a world that the one place that you want to masturbate is in a Walmart. Like behind a woman who's just trying to get some pork, you know, get some pig and dig it in. But I guess maybe it's the thrill, you know, because I know that people like adventure, and you know, I'm one of those people. I'll say that. But yeah, it's just wild to me.
But let's rewind to earlier in the day, before he was placed in cuffs. On March 21st, officers in Illinois were dispatched to a local Walmart. According to the police report, they got word a man with dreads was touching himself and masturbating as he followed women around the store. Police say that man was 25-year-old Tyrese Gray. He's the one you see in the red sweater on this surveillance video. You can see him looking at some of the clothes in that section of the men's department. According to the police report, Tyrese's penis was allegedly exposed through his unzipped pants.
Ooh. Oh, he got his woodpecker out. It's wintertime and that thing just peeking through. You know what I'm saying? It's morning time. God. And you just gotta think. They might say more about what, you know, exactly happened, who saw it, blah, blah, blah. But I'm thinking in my mind that if you're that low of, you know, your junk is down there, and you got eye level with, there's probably, I know a lot of times there are a lot of moms and their children around shopping for clothes and trying to, you know, it's probably wintertime season, so shopping for warmer clothes, especially at Walmart. So all I can think about is a dang adolescent. Oh, and that one makes me mad. Freaking an adolescent over there, and he's seeing that. And he's just like, ah! He's probably not that, but you know, that traumatizes people. And there's a reason why clothing is such an important thing. And there's a time and place for that, but God, out of Walmart. Not giving him benefit of the doubt, but at least he picked a warmer section, bro.
Officers noted in their report they observed him walking around that section with the zipper of his pants open, looking at an employee while he was pretending like he was shopping. When one of the officers comes onto the floor to find Tyrese, by this point,
in that moment, that this person over here, oh my gosh. You know, and here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. I had so at a church that I grew up in, there was a guy who, so he had autism. He had the tism. And I've been there. At least I feel like it, but like had it, you know. Got in a car crash when he was pretty young, and, you know, ever since he was a child, he had to ride around in a scooter and always had people that had to take care of himself, or take care of him. And so he was a little bit older, and he would always come to church on Wednesday nights, and I was in the youth group. And I'm not going to say any names or anything out of, you know, respect for that person. Great person. Actually went with him to a WWE fight. Was really into wrestling. And, you know, people banging on each other. But, long story short, he unknowingly had his tater tots hanging down that little rooster's neck, if you know what I'm saying. And so, maybe that's a moment in my life that I wish that I would have maybe confronted that a little bit, because I knew him pretty well. But all I could do was run. Because whenever you see a man's jingle bells, you don't want to be a part of that Christmas party anymore. So, there's, what I'm trying to say is that there are circumstances where you can't necessarily help it, but the dude does not look like he got the tism. He looking like he's trying to start another Pornhub type of compilation. Okay? So, God bless that Walmart employee and everybody working on this.
He was shopping when one of the officers comes onto the floor to find Tyrese. By this point, he's in the grocery section, shopping cart and all.
Hey, give me a second.
Do me a favor. That's the thing. You don't. Why do you need to run? Because at that point, I mean, maybe you're just embarrassed, or you've been there before. But why you gotta run, bro? He was just trying to have a conversation with you.
Send us another unit.
That's gotta hurt, bro. Because he fell forward. And you've got a zipper. Oh, because he's got jeans on. Ooh. That's probably what you heard. Ooh. I hope that everything's okay. I hope that everything's okay. Oh, okay. And you freaking got banged on some cans, and you get that aluminum all over the floor, boy.
I got him. I got him right. Ready for it, right? Yep.
What did he say?
Right? Ready for it, right?
Oh, I think he's thirsty. I think he said ready for a drink.
Yep.
He grabs the tuna. Here's you some tuna for you, boy. Don't say it like that, but sir, here's some tuna for you. But no, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. I'm just... Or would they? If I'm a cop and I'm having a bad day... But then I guess I'd have to pay for it or something.
Alright, we got him to
The store surveillance video shows another angle of the arrest. You can see Tyrese enter the cereal aisle, then about a minute later, he's tackled by officers in the pasta aisle. The responding officers noted in their report they did collide with the pasta sauce while trying to arrest him. Some of the jars fell on the floor breaking. One of the officers got sauce on his uniform, but another noted that Tyrese did get a small cut on his hand.
Are we done? Yes, sir. What aisle we have? Grocery side? For the grocery side. Alright. You're good. Rolling this side? Yes, sir. What up, Joe? Broken chair. Alright, stand up. You're good. I'm not gonna do anything. Yeah, well. You gotta understand if I don't believe you, right?
So, do you think that there's other officers watching the cameras? Because they've got clear vision of all of the aisles. It's almost like that snake game on Google. Because everything's so kind of at a 90-degree angle, going through the aisles. And so you're thinking like, okay, he's coming down. It's almost like you're having a pursuit chase. Do you think that they have that in their cop training? Having a grocery store pursuit? Because that's probably what they're like tracking in a sense. Is you see if they have a car tracked or somebody tracked. You see where they are on the streets and you're trying to block them off. But at this point, you're on foot patrol, and you're just trying to hammer that dude in the hamburger helper aisle. You know? I'll tell you what. Now that's an experience I would want to tell.
What's the tackle? That's pretty badass.
Is he clothed at this point? I mean, surely, right? They get some paper towels and just get some toilet paper and just go around him, put him into a mummy. I would be the bad cop. If there was a good cop and bad cop, I would be great at my job, but I think that I would be frustrated if somebody wasn't compliant and I would do like little things like that. Because I'm trying to think of a person's right. I mean, I guess that's not professional. But if it's to make sure that their wiener ain't, their elephant trunk ain't swaying on the ground of a Wally World where everybody can see, I feel like that would be justifiable. But that could just be me.
Nice try, though. That's pretty good. Thanks. So what's the try that? I ain't gonna
Dang, dude. They are walking. the cops pulling up in pursuit, but they're parked on the wrong side of the parking lot. See, and that's the tier of cops you get a lot of times. And I truly believe that it's a problem. And it's a problem for, honestly, we see videos like this, and people, they don't want to be a cop because they see this shit that they have to deal with. Because this is bad shit that they gotta deal with. But yeah, you kind of have that tier of cop that maybe they're on the clock, so, or they're like, oh my gosh, dude, we just gotta
97 wiener. 97 wiener. We got it. Yep, it's at the Wally World. Oh, 7 wiener.
and then they get that call, and then you already know you and your co-pilot, or I don't know what they call them, but your partner, you're both just like, oh, God, not again. Because one thing, it's Walmart, and you already know that you're going to have, like, you're going to be going to Walmart almost every single day. Because that one location, statistically, we already said it, statistically 2 calls for the police happen out of Walmart for each location. So I definitely think that either that was kind of a pursuit thing that they do for training. They try to like park where maybe the target isn't, or the guy was in the children's makeup aisle, you know, rubbing some lipstick on that thing while he's gooning over there. Or he moved to the produce aisle. So I'm not sure, but if I was to assume, like, you're getting that call, and they were probably like, oh gosh, let's get our composure here. Let's have a stroll in the Walmart. Because at the end of the day, I truly do. If I've got time to browse a little bit, you know, see what's going on, and people watch a little bit, you're on the clock and you get to go to Walmart, hey, might as well get a Snickers bar and, you know, have that on you as a good reward after catching this guy. So
Excuse me.
You're just gonna go right outside, or?
In the LP office.
Yeah?
You got anything on you some Poppy stick me call me?
No.
All right. I will. You got ID on you?
Yeah. I should.
All right. I'll find it.
Sorry, I was being dumb today. I'm trying to
he's like, oh, I was just so riled up today, bro. I'm just so riled up today. Do you think that this is his first time doing something like this? Like he got a taste of it and he was like, ooh. Because I'll say, I've seen the compilations on the pornos and such of people rolling down that window and trying to get that little, you know, that little spice on there, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's illegal. So I don't know what you expected. If you got a little bit bored waiting in the Walmart and you had the bright idea to go hang out in the ferns and graze a little bit.
No, there's nothing.
That's French legs for.
Anybody else coming or?
I think Jesse's coming.
What's with the dollar up there in the corner? Somebody give like a worker a tip or something there.
Idea or no? Got an idea on you?
This one.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like he's got a little blood or pasta sauce on him.
Pasta sauce, bro.
No, it's blood.
Is it
I'm gonna
blood?
have a 52 come. Yeah. He's got to cut out his hand.
He's bleeding on his hand, I think.
That's not
He
blood.
landed on a jar of pasta sauce.
You're good.
No ID, buddy.
No, nothing?
After his alleged indecent exposure, Tyrese was told he can't shop at Walmart again. Did you know there's a reason that Law and Crime is the go-to spot for all legal and true crime content on YouTube? Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest personal injury law. Months, $1,000 Why not claim for people dying?
This is gonna happen, okay? You're gonna be restricted from all Walmarts, okay? And any Walmart you go into is going into the system, okay? And it's gonna have a picture of your face. If you're caught in a Walmart, they can call the cops and they will arrest you immediately.
Okay. But like I was saying before, you see, I think that I would, if I was in the guy's shoes, right? Because we all have our moments. You know? We do. And he looks like a young man who might be going through something. And this could be, you know, this could be the slap or getting freaking tackled. You know, to say that that's not cool. That's not cool in this life, you know? Because it's not. But if this was a Target and they said that, then I would be a little bit more concerned. Because Target's got it down. They just do. And in Walmart, those freaking security guards that are guarding, like they're sitting there while you're walking in with the vest. Maybe, don't get me wrong, in some areas, but in my Walmarts, dude, they're not going to recognize you. And even if they do, it's like we already know that those cops are moseying down there, I would say. Because I'm sure that that's one call that the cops don't necessarily love to do. Instead of like an uncertain call, like that's at an apartment that they usually don't go to, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I would say that the threat is mid-tier.
Everything that happened today will be in the system, okay? I know you can't sign, so I'm gonna go ahead, because you're cops, obviously. When they get here to uncuff you, do you want to sign, or are you gonna refuse to sign? Okay. You gonna let him touch your pen? Well, he's already touched everything else in the store, including himself.
Free kills. Everybody.
Oh, and that's gotta be so embarrassing. If I'm that guy, I've gotta be so embarrassed. I would be as red as Kool-Aid Man, bro. I would be so embarrassed, bro. Because he's basically sitting there And he's having, I guess, the manager of Walmart tell him, like, you're not allowed in any more Walmarts. And then everyone around him is basically making fun of him. And I would say that that would be the most thing that would intimidate me, to make me not ever do that if I was to. But dude, I would.
Well,
Here you go. Let's see the.
tell you this much.
He's like, come on. He's like,
You're lucky we called the cops, because if some of the people in town would have seen that, they would have handled you differently. So are you drunk?
wait, can we go back on that?
Just a little?
That's the part I see. I had to flip the camera to catch it.
So you missed that part?
Yeah, it's,
I just seen the grab and like in the aisle, and then once it hit the aisle, I turned around. It was like everybody was already like going down at the same time.
So they got the witness in there, shaming him too, bro. And the guy's like, he's coping in a way, because he's a little bit drunk. He's like, maybe that's the reason why, you know, he's getting a little, that prefrontal cortex ain't cortexing no more.
Then like, yeah. And Dan was like, I'm like, what the hell?
Can I see it? I mean, I don't give a fuck. Let me see it.
You've been looking at enough shit, see?
Alright, I'm gonna, hey,
I need to take his picture.
No, they're just.
I'm gonna cut out the info and you'll see.
Just like if somebody else got a cut from a bottle or a glass jar or something. What you got? He's been, you understand, it's a water system. Did you go to the hospital or? No, it's just a cut. I feel fine.
Yeah, I would be like, get me the hell out of here. Because I would be so embarrassed. I can't say that enough. Like, I could be having a freaking can go through me and hit one of my vital organs and insist that I'm fine, just to slither my way out of there.
It just needs to be clean. That's all. Just needs to be
That little spot?
Yeah.
Something else? Just the blood dripping around?
Yeah, that just looks like worse than what it is.
And then he's like, he gets out of there. I'm not gonna say that.
Imagine being able.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. That's all. And then I'll get you a
get
band.
there.
How's that sound? Good?
It's gonna come off there, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Hostile. You should know that.
What?
It's the pasta aisle.
How's that sound?
Yeah.
He's not Italian, he's Greek.
That cop, this cop over here is trying not to laugh. I can see it.
That's what Ronald does. Got a ragu in it, so, like, that's what Ronald does.
No, like it's a full swing. It was 8 times, right?
Well, now,
Yeah.
6,
7, 6.
Did y'all hear that? Listen. You got somebody over there in the corner playing Clash of Clans. They're running it up, trying to level up their town hall, bro. Oh, I guess it's just it's the Walmart manager. She has like a Town Hall 13, and she's like, "Yeah, I've been ever since my grandson got me onto this game. I've been grinding ever since. I gotta get my loot. While you guys deal with this jerk off, get my loot."
Can we please get maintenance to A6 for a glass cleanup? Maintenance
Take
A6
down
for a glass cleanup. Thank you.
Oh, do you want him to sign?
Yeah.
Hold on.
All good? You guys want me to those?
Just lean forward a little. Lean forward a little for me.
Alright, boys. Sounds a little bad looking stars.
Yes, right now the Walmart, please.
I think the internet will just be a wise choice for you. I mean, plenty of sites for that. I'll do the going on public. So,
So that's, yeah, that's Mr. Ferris gets a hold of it. That's on him.
And that's the thing. I just think that Walmart employees, especially, that it being there, that they're just gonna absolutely roast the shit out of you. It just, they're just gonna continue to freaking, roast this guy, which rightfully so. He should not be jorking it in a Walmart.
that dude with the yellow Jeep gonna be looking for you, man. What's his name? The dude that be doing all the videos and stuff on the internet? Hernandez! Hey, let me get his picture real quick.
Oh.
Dang, his name's Hernandez? And I guess they're getting a picture for the security ban. Hernandez. I could see it. I could see it. I was kind of close. A little bit. I wasn't.
I thought you couldn't take my picture though. I thought she just literally said you didn't want my picture.
Already signed.
She said that was in the paper. Huh?
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. If you want to transport him, I'll get the information and do a little sauce cleanup. Which, oh, you're behind me?
In this scenario, if I was to run shopping cart, we're gonna do a most wanted chase, and I'm gonna be on a shopping cart. Just a fun fact.
Is there anything I can do to avoid that? I mean, it's my first time ever getting front.
No, this isn't, we don't have anything to do with the patch. They just pull all the reports and they decide what goes in the paper or not. Yeah.
Oh, that looks like an uncomfortable seat. Y'all see this? What kind of seat is this, boy? Hell to the now. That makes me want to not. That makes me want to follow the rules. Cause I've seen videos of people getting thrown into cop cars, and you already know that this metal ass seat is gonna hurt your butt, bro. It's like getting on that wrong, like the worst, the most. It's like going on a merry-go-round, and you get the worst seat. Like you end up, it's completely full, and you're left with the camel, and you gotta sit on that hump the whole time around.
While everyone could get a good laugh in, the 25-year-old was still charged with public indecency, resisting arrest, and criminal damage to property. And even though he was arrested in the spring, his case is still ongoing. Well, I'm truly glad that the employees were able to have a laugh and they thought it was kind of funny, but again, he's still facing criminal charges. I'm joined now by criminal defense attorney Safa Robinson Ferrer. Safa, always great to see you, but I'm curious to know, how hard is it to defend a client accused of something like this when you have surveillance video plus him admitting on body cam that he was being stupid that day?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to defend. I mean, video certainly isn't going to help. It's going to corroborate the statement of any witness and the 911 caller that alleged that they found this man masturbating on live CCTV. So we have that component that will likely be introduced to evidence at a trial if this case makes it that far. We have the witness statements, and then we have his own admission that he was just being stupid.
And he chose to do it in the clearance aisle. The most popular aisle. And what is the end goal? You know, I guess to get off, but it just baffles me. It truly baffles me. I wonder how old our man Hernandez is.
But how stupid, quote unquote, do you really want to be, in the sense that you find yourself in a significant legal situation charged with a crime for this alleged conduct?
He's like in the middle of this. There's like a gap right here. And then, you know, you saw that work before, and he's just like in the middle of it. He's like, hi. Hi. Just like creepy. You've got to be insane. You either have to be so insane, or it's probably November. It's probably not November, bro. It's cold outside. It's like practically snowing. So I guess it would be December if he's trying to unleash the beast, or he's just failed miserably. And he's like, he took the challenge, but he's like an extreme gooner. And it gets to a point, like, a big thing is pornography addiction. And you can, I know even personally in my life, I've struggled with it. And as a young man does, it can get to a point where it's numbing, especially if you're indulging every day, you know? So I just think that if it was that cause, that would be sad, and maybe he can get some help. And however he finds himself convicted, that no matter what, he can be, you know, helped or put in some program of sorts to help with that urge, because it's a real thing. Not neglecting what has already happened, and it's not great, especially with a lot of minors around. But yeah, why the clearance aisle, bro?
And it's interesting. This was in the middle of the day. There were a lot of shoppers in that Walmart, and he was allegedly doing this over in the men's department. But what's your take on this case as a whole, especially because it was in broad daylight in a public area where a lot of shoppers were walking around? I mean, I'm thinking to myself, kids could have been around, especially in that area. It's in the clothing area, a place where a lot of people go. And so I'm wondering your thoughts on just the case as a whole.
You know, the case as a whole, I think here screams lack of judgment, but there also could be a component here where we're talking about mental health. And there's always a fine line between mental health and culpability in certain cases. You know, who goes to a Walmart in the middle of broad daylight, knowing that there are going to be people there openly exposing themselves and masturbating in a men's department section, something that, you know, should be kept behind closed doors in theory. You know, you bring that openly into the public, and, you know, it's not uncommon where we hear situations like this occurring, but it's not common to the point where it's socially accepted or socially acceptable. And
Yeah, because there's just so much more of a chance of you. There's cameras everywhere. I mean, everywhere in that Walmart, except for the bathroom, of course. And you know, even if you are gonna do something like that, in any regard, why you gotta do the freaking elephant trunk method or the woodpecker method? I mean, you've got pockets. So if you're over there feeling on the chicken and then maybe getting a grasp of your cockadoodle-doo, then that's a lot better than having that little cockadoo out for everybody to view.
And again, we've got children there, we've got elderly people, you know, we've got men and women combined that are just going about their day, minding their business. So what would make someone want to do this? Was this done as a joke, or was this done because there's something there with respect to mental health that needs to be addressed that caused this person to feel or believe that this was some type of appropriate conduct?
Does it mitigate any of this knowing that he says that he was under the influence of alcohol? He said that he was a little bit drunk during this incident. Does that mitigate anything at all?
I don't think it's going to mitigate it. You know, each state has different statutory rules and defenses to certain things, you know, but with regard to what he's charged with, we'll have to take a look at the mens rea requirement or the mental culpability requirement to see if it's intentionally, you know, if it's knowingly or just kind of a catch-all with respect to just strict liability in doing this action out in public. But I think
I wonder, because, you know, you go to parties and stuff, and that's the main reason people indulge in alcohol, is a lot of things are, you become less closed off in a sense and more open. And that's a lot of times where people find their spouses and husbands, wives, you know, multiple wives, multiple husbands, whatever gets you going. But I wonder, I'm going to look it up, how if alcohol, I want to make sure that I'm getting my facts right, if it makes you hornier. And if he was a little drunk, like, I mean, but, you know, he wasn't actively just fireballing it up in there, so maybe whenever he wasn't there, and then whenever he started getting arrested, it started to wear off, adrenaline's pumping, all that sort of stuff. So I'm gonna look it up to see, does alcohol make you horned up? So it actually it increases your desires too, because you're maybe not thinking as clearly if you were sober. But physically, it decreases. It says here, in moderate to high amounts, alcohol reduces blood flow, lowers testosterone, and numbs nerves/sensitivity, which I knew before, but I was just wondering, like, if that could be the case, because the thing that kind of makes me question some things is, like, I've been downtown, and there's homeless people rocking on their pony too, you know? They're jackhammering that, and it's just kind of sad in a sense that they're kind of in a point in their life where people just won't even look at them, you know? Or there's no one to even call for help. There could be a little girl that saw that, and I think that it would get kind of swept underneath the rug. So, yeah, it's just sad, but
I think that the combination of alcohol, again, does not help if we factor in whether or not there are mental health implications with this particular individual. Alcohol and mental health to bad circumstances, you know, and so we'll have to take a look at that. But I don't think that the fact that he probably was drinking is going to mitigate this much at all.
And you know, public indecency, while it's not a charge like murder, it is still pretty serious. And if he's convicted, would that mean he would have to also register even as a sex offender?
It's very possible that he would, and I think this took place in the state of Illinois, and so it would depend on Illinois sex offender registration requirements and things of that nature. But in a lot of these cases, you do ultimately see individuals in cases like this where they are found to be sex offenders, and we have what we call SORA hearings here in New York, sex offender registration hearings, where the court will determine what level sex offender this person is. They will be required to register as a sex offender, disclose that to any jurisdiction in which they live in. Also, they can't live in a certain distance from schools and things like that.
They can make a case where the guy's like, oh, it's just that Hernandez, you know, it makes him Morales caught in cat hair. And he was just prowling the area, so... And he had no idea that there were any cameras out of Walmart. He's just so young. Yeah, I think Hernandez, he's pretty screwed.
Yeah, and probably
very possible here.
Yeah, exactly. Not possibly be around children and things like that. I could see it possibly escalating, and that's what makes this case so interesting, because it's like, well, maybe he didn't think he was doing necessarily anything wrong. No one was getting hurt. Maybe he didn't think at the time people were seeing him. There are still consequences to these types of offenses and these types of actions. But you know what I was surprised to see too, Safa, was that his case is still ongoing, even though his arrest was earlier this spring. Is this a case that you see possibly going all the way to trial?
It's always possible, you know, there's always the high likelihood that a trial could be at the end of this case. And the person, anybody that's charged with a crime, they are entitled to a trial at the end of their case. What's probably going on here is, and this is not uncommon, is that there's negotiations going on between the district attorney's office and the defendant's attorney to find out how they are going to resolve this case. If mental health is at play, they may have some type of 730 exam in New York. That's what we call it with regards to mental competency. They have their variation of it in the state of Illinois, so that could be at play. Sometimes in cases like this, you might see a plea offer from the district attorney's office that says we want a mental health evaluation, any required treatment from a provider. And then if you successfully engage and complete your mental health treatment, then this case will go away or will dismiss the charges. So that is also a possibility here.
And I'm sure probably his defense attorney or public defender is probably hoping to get any type of sex offender registry off of the table if there were to be any type of plea negotiations. And he's already been banned from Walmart. That's what the employees told him at the time he was arrested. But do you see it also being a possibility he could serve jail time too?
Absolutely. I believe he's charged with a misdemeanor in this case, and traditionally misdemeanors, you face up to 1 year in the county jail, whatever jurisdiction you live in. Some misdemeanors have a lower sentence, some have 90 days and things of that nature. But
what's worse, being a cop or working in a jail? I would say that working in a jail is probably a lower barrier to entry than going and being a cop through the academy. Personally, I would like being a cop more, just because I think I'd be better at it and I wouldn't feel like I would feel like I would be a prisoner in a sense too, because in my mind, I don't necessarily like the idea of the clock or trading your time for money, but instead being able to have a creative aspect in everything not being the same. So yeah, I think that, and also you just have like inmates who'd call you a wigger or something, something just really, really cruel. And I don't think I would. I don't think that my mental health I don't think I could sleep at night knowing somebody called me that.
certainly something that he can face incarceration for, although, it's not your homicide, it's not an assault. This is just a public indecency and things like that, but that's certainly something he could be incarcerated for.
I think probably realizing the seriousness of his alleged actions, I think he has a lot to think about, especially being only 25 years old, and hopefully he won't do something stupid like this ever again. Safa Robinson Ferrer, I want to thank you so much for your time and your insight into this case. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Online
That was a good video. Yeah, Hernandez had his wiener strapped and not wrapped, and probably gonna serve some jail time for that. But that was a good video. I got to go piss, so.